Alright, it's my friend's birthday today. We did like a pub crawl thing. I was late, as always. It's usually, that can be relied upon. That's what I do with work, so. Anyways, that added to the enjoyment, the fact that I was late. Believe it or not, which is another reason not to stress about things you can't control. Because you may believe that what you wanted to control, how you wanted the situation to be, how you wanted it to turn out was going to be ideal for you. But also, you could never imagine how ideal it could be through what you would perceive as a negative scenario. Follow me? So, the shit you want to control, it's getting hot, doesn't want to work out, right? Had hair. Fuck cares. The shit you want to control doesn't work out the way you want it to happen, right? With the universe, to keep it vague. Because everyone has had this in their life at some point. I know I have. I know many other people, almost everyone I know well, has had this in their life because I've seen it myself. So you want something to work out a certain way and it won't, and you'll be upset. And you'll start thinking, because this didn't work out this way, this is ruined, this is destroyed, this is not possible, or to an extreme, I'm a failure, I suck, I shouldn't be here, what's the point of being alive at the end of that spectrum, right? You can follow that whole thought process down. The thing is, none of it, not a thread of it, is sensible once you realize that you do not understand what is going to happen in the future. And the irony is, just like you wanted to control what you couldn't control and it didn't turn out the way you wanted it to turn out, in the same methodology, I don't have a fucking good enough word for it, happenstance, circumstance, situation, with the same methods, right? Universal methods. Think of the universe. Think about you or your family or the world or the solar system or the galaxy. The universe. The same methods that caused what you wanted to control not to turn out the way you wanted it to be are the same methods that could turn what you think is disaster into fruition. So this thinking, this obsessing over, because X didn't happen, I don't have a Y. My Y is now a Z, or my Y is now a W, or a Q, or a P, or whatever, is senseless. It's a absolute waste of time. It is a giant absolute waste of time. You know? Which does not mean to not think about it. It does not mean to do nothing. It does not mean to sit by and hope everything magically gets better for you, or you get thrust into a situation that's more fortuitous. It does not mean that. It means you have to regard that, what I would perceive to be a truth, that we don't know the future, and we don't know what events will lead to other events, and we don't know how this domino effect will occur in our life or anyone else's, or how it will affect our life, and how those effects will affect other people's lives. We honestly can't fucking fathom it. Like, there's bits and pieces you get one or two things here, this might happen, that might happen, yada yada, or a big thing, a big macro, you know, like an election, or like, because of this thing, this guy's gonna lose the election. Like, those are fucking easy to grab, and they're right in front of your face. It's the easiest thing to grab, especially on the macro level, you know. But the world is made up of micros, right? So you is a macro, but that macro is conceptual, okay? That's something you overlay into your mind, and that affects even physically how you perceive yourself. But there's also the fact that isn't real. That, as far as tangible, I shouldn't say it isn't real. It's very real. It's not tangible. You can't grasp it. It's ever changing. It's ever evolving. It's different from to didn't snap to you know, it's different second by second because everything is changing and everything not just within you is changing but it's changing around you, and every second it is the smallest amount of time you can imagine occurring in any point, there's something that's changing. So that's a micro level. So all the macros are made up of micros. The macros exist because we need to figure out basically the gist of how a certain amount of micros are put together. I'm thinking basically out loud here, but I'm thinking like atoms, you know, and molecules and shit like that. You know, what you're made up out of, you know, physically. Okay. Those are the micros. Those are harder to grasp, and those are so much harder to fathom. That's my whole point. You know, the macros you can fathom. You know, so don't try to discredit what I'm saying by saying, well, this one time I predicted this would happen because X happened. Like, yeah, of course, dude. Like, duh. And who else? Because it definitely wasn't just you, unless it was something personal in your life. Which is definitely possible. I mean, you figure shit out. Some of that could be related to intuition. Some of it could be calculation. It's probably a little bit of both, to be honest. But that is still a macro level thing. It's usually interaction with the people, or if I do X, I get Y. It's rarely a complex equation that's ever changing at every instance of every minute so that it's insolvable. That's what the micros are. They're insolvable. You cannot fathom all of those micros. Science cannot fathom all of the possible variables. You know? Growing a plant, what are the requirements? Temperature, humidity, nutrients, light source, a light cycle, spectrum of light, the composition of the nutrients, where the nutrients were derived from, if they're chemically derived or organically derived, the root zone, the soil structure, the turbidity of the nutrient solution, the pH of the nutrient solution, the EC of the nutrient solution. If you're not using hydroponics in soil, then the pH of the water and the EC of the water, and what's in your soil and what's in your water chemically, you know? Is there magnesium in your water? Is it a well? Is it tap water? Does it have chlorine in it? Can you store water for 24 hours to dissipate chlorine? Yeah. But is it not chlorine? Is it chloride, which you can't? Which that won't work for. You know? That's just like basic level fucking shit, dude. Basic level. What's the PAR? What's the PPFD of your light spectrum? At what stage in the plant's growth are you giving it said PPFD? Are you ramping up the PPFD? Are you creating a schedule so that there's a ramp up of light so it's basically is dawn, noon, dusk? Or are you just putting it on full blast? You know? There's a shitload of shit. You know, are you nice to it? Do you like it? Has anyone been in here that's talked mean to it? Because it's alive. Are there pests around? Is the, you know, what the fuck, man? It's just so much that we can't fathom. I probably listed at least over a dozen things, 100%, maybe 20. Okay, and there's more. There's always more. There's always fucking more, because you can't fathom the micros. What would we do? Oh, the atom. It's the atom. Atom is the smallest thing. You know? Oh no, the atom has, protons and electrons, and those are the smallest things. And neutrons. And then we broke those apart. And it's like, alright, well now there's fucking quarks. Now we're on to quarks. And there's always quarks, and they always come in pairs. And you can't split a quark yet. But maybe we could smash a pair of quarks into each other. We could figure out what quarks are made out of. And then what are you gonna get? Zarks. And you're gonna fucking smash Zarks together. And try to fucking see what Zarks are made out of. Ba-ba-ba-ba. All down the line. It's a Matryoshka egg experience. We're encapsulated by so many different things at so many different times that even that we can't fathom. I can't fathom. I'm not like some fucking dude saying like, oh yeah, I know the fucking shit. I'm saying I don't fucking know. I have no fucking idea. And we should all realize that we have no fucking idea. You know? It's because we're an arrogant species. Just somewhat of a newer revelation. New as far as humans that we believe have been alive. It would be somewhat of a newer revelation to say that we're arrogant. Maybe cavemen were arrogant. How do I know? I bet there were arrogant cavemen. Oh, we don't need those wheels. I already got squares. Why would you need wheels? Can't fathom the micros. So, to think about something that doesn't go your way, it makes you upset now. If you thought about what I've been speaking about, if it made any sort of coherent sense in my ramblings, doesn't it seem a little less daunting? Just a bit. Okay, maybe I perceive this situation as bad now, but I don't know where this bad will lead me. And to pretend to know would be folly. Especially on a micro level. I feel like I'm shrinking, dude. What the fuck? Yeah, especially on a micro level. So in that sense, what is the sense in being incensed over the happenstances of your existence? Why be upset? Why? What does it accomplish? Do you like being upset? No, of course you don't like being upset. But no one can control how upset you are more than yourself. No matter what. Because that's an internal thing. You could blind a man, deafen a man, and silence a man. But you can never take the roar away from his thoughts. So why be mad? I think it's funny. It's fucking funny, dude. And I'm sorry, if you don't think it's funny, I think you're just missing out. To be honest, I think it would be much more fun if you were laughing. It really would be. I'm not telling you this for me. Ah, partly. I'm sure I am. Ah, fuck. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. But, you know, I don't need anyone else to laugh at what I think is funny. For me to think it's funny. It's such an odd thing to contemplate. You know, you watch sitcoms, TV, you see these laugh tracks, you know, people laughing at a joke or whatever, or some kind of scene or scenario. Why? It's a trick, man. It's to train you to laugh. It's to tell you, in a way, what is funny. And I think it's a dirty trick. I don't like laugh tracks. I don't think laugh tracks should exist.